Think the swinging 60s were all about peace, love, and harmless beach blanket bingos? Think again, groovy cats. Beneath the tie-dye surface of the decade lurked a cinematic underbelly so grim, bizarre, and boundary-pushing that it made the censors sweat bullets. We're talking about the deep cuts of 1960s cinema, the films that traded flower power for pure paranoia, psychological torment, and good old-fashioned grit. If you thought Psycho was the only movie giving audiences nightmares, you're in for a wild, weird ride. Grab your popcorn and lock your doors. These 5 1960s movies were simply too disturbing for their time.
Tell me.
Who Killed Teddy Bear, 1965. Long before stalker thrillers became a Hollywood staple, Who Killed Teddy Bear dragged audiences into the neon-lit, spectacularly sleazy underbelly of 1960s Times Square. Sal Mino, shedding every last ounce of his former teen idol innocence, plays Lawrence, a deeply disturbed busboy harboring a terrifying psychosexual obsession with a beautiful nightclub DJ, played by Juliette Prowse. This isn't your garden variety romance. It's a sweaty, voyeuristic descent into madness that deals with themes of sexual deviance and harassment in a way that was shockingly raw for 1965. The film is essentially a grim, gritty time capsule of New York City grime, wrapped in a neo-noir package that makes you want to immediately take a hot shower. With its unapologetic look at taboo subjects and Elaine Stritch tossing out cynical barbs on the sidelines, it's a deeply unsettling watch that crawled under the skin of 60s audiences and refused to leave.
It could have been me, but I blew my chance. It kills me to see.
My name's Nora. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm Lawrence.
With no place to go.
Nora, don't you see? I'm with you everywhere.
To me, you're an animal. You have a wife and a child at home. You're a dirty, disgusting animal!
I know every area.
Do I imagine them, hear voices, see burglars under my bed, maybe?
Do you get these calls often?
You brought a new teddy bear. Where's my luck? What happened to mine?
He can't control my horrid dreams. His little sawdust talk. Teddy bear. Doesn't anybody care?
Some of them were halfway decent Jaws. They wanted to help, so I let them help.
A powerful motion picture that strips and lays bare the frenzied emotions of today's bite-biting Motorpsycho, pulse-pounding action entertainment. I got the blood! Suck it! Some more! Some more! Suck it! Throw me! Motorpsycho!
A permanent discharge!
Motorpsycho!
Motorpsycho, 1965. Before Russ Meyer cemented his legacy as the absolute king of hyper-exaggerated female anatomy, he directed Motorpsycho, an astonishingly brutal slice of desert exploitation. This grim little gem follows a trio of psychopathic motorcycle hooligans who spend their days roaming the sun-baked wasteland, assaulting innocent women and murdering anyone foolish enough to cross their path. When they make the fatal mistake of attacking a veterinarian's wife, it kicks off a relentless, sweat-soaked revenge mission. Forget the glossy, romanticized rebels of Easy Rider. These bikers are downright repulsive, offering a terrifyingly nihilistic glimpse into the dark side of American counterculture. Shot in stark, unforgiving black and white, the violence here feels shockingly mean-spirited and visceral for the era. It's a gritty, low-budget endurance test of a movie that proves Meyer could deliver severe psychological distress just as effectively as his trademark campy pulp. Wear your metaphorical helmet for this one.
Motorpsycho! Motorpsycho! The most adult motion picture you will ever see. Angels are devils! Motorpsychos! Flat out on their murder cycles! Asking no quarter and giving none in return! turn. Fair play to them was a dirty word. Motorpsycho, incredibly strong motion picture entertainment.
Your belt buckle's cold.
You mommy to every cheap motel in 3 states.
He belongs to a friend of ours.
We'll never make Vegas tonight with this gig.
Vegas? Ma, Lauren, I can think of better things to make.
It's impossible. I'm terribly involved this evening.
Look at those bruises. Does that look like she was having a party? She was assaulted. Criminally assaulted.
You don't want to kill me. You want to make love to me.
Motorpsycho! Get out! Suck it some more! Some more! Rage psychomaniacs assaulting and killing for thrills! I'm gonna retire you! A motion picture you shall not forget. For your own safety, do not fail to see Motorpsycho!
I'm looking for my daughter, Bunny Lake.
Since she couldn't have gotten out of here by herself, it means someone took her out. The question is who?
The police were here. I don't care for the police.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Lake?
You tore up the card or pulled the page out of the ledger as soon as there was any trouble? If this child isn't found by tomorrow morning, I'll stir up the damnedest mess you ever saw.
What would anybody want with Bunny? It's like a nightmare.
Bunny Lake is missing, 1965. Imagine dropping your kid off at preschool, only to return later and find she's vanished. And worse, everyone insists you never actually had a child to begin with. That's the nightmare fuel driving Otto Preminger's Bunny Lake is Missing, a psychological thriller that practically invented modern gaslighting. Carol Lindley plays the frantic mother whose sanity is systematically dismantled, while Laurence Olivier rolls in as the weary police superintendent who isn't sure if he's investigating a kidnapping or a severe psychotic break. Throw in Keir Dullea as the overly protective, borderline creepy brother, and you have a recipe for supreme anxiety. It's an incredibly tense, claustrophobic masterclass in paranoia that leaves the audience just as disoriented and frantic as its protagonist. The film's twisted final act is a masterstroke of deeply uncomfortable suspense, proving that the most terrifying monsters don't wear masks, they wear cardigans and manipulate your reality.
Either the school is lying or we are. Now they have a reason to. They lost a child.
It's my child, my little girl, not some lost pair of socks.
The Old Dark House, 1963. When you combine the macabre gimmickry of director William Castle with the gothic stylings of Hammer films, the result is the deeply weird 1963 remake of The Old Dark House. While maybe not as viscerally horrifying as others on this list, it earns its disturbing badge through sheer, unadulterated eccentricity and morbid black comedy. American car salesman Tom Poston finds himself trapped in a crumbling British manor with the Femme family, a clan of lunatics tied to the estate by a cursed inheritance. They are practically climbing the walls with madness, and soon enough they start getting murdered in increasingly absurd ways. From deadly acid baths to extremely aggressive knitting, the film is a surreal, campy descent into family dysfunction. It's exactly the kind of unhinged, darkly humorous nightmare you'd expect if the Addams family suddenly decided to start actually committing gruesome homicides for money.
Are you interested in property? Desperately in need of somewhere to live or die? Why don't you drop in? should warn you that the Femme family have some very killing habits. But don't lose your patience. Living in the old dark house is Roderick, the eldest Femme. Then there's Cecily, the prettiest and youngest. Well, there's Aunt Agatha, who loved knitting, surrounded by a host of wool-gathering relatives.
Must have been murder. She always knitted so carefully.
Morgana, of course, is the femme fatale, one of the amenities of the house.
Don't you have any boyfriends?
Well, things were just getting started, and I had to stop.
And dead or alive, they look the same. Tom was just a visiting American who came by accident. And by accident, he was still alive. An exclusive residence that's murder to run. It will be vacant any moment now.
3 murders in a row, with a 4th on tap. The intended victim? The intrepid Miss Marple herself.
Murder Most Foul, 1964. On the surface, a Miss Marple mystery starring the delightfully jowly Margaret Rutherford sounds like the cinematic equivalent of a warm cup of Earl Grey tea. But Murder Most Foul hides a surprisingly ruthless, cynical core beneath its cozy British tweed. When a man is sentenced to hang for a murder he seemingly didn't commit, our favorite elderly sleuth goes undercover in a remarkably toxic theatrical acting troupe to root out the real, cold-blooded killer. What makes this 1964 entry surprisingly disturbing is the stark contrast. You have this lovable, bicycle-riding spinster navigating a world of brutal poisonings, blackmail, and cutthroat theatrical vanity where absolutely no one can be trusted. The sheer sociopathy of the killer, hidden behind the polite smiles of the theater world, adds a chilling layer of realism. It proves that behind every quaint English village and polite curtain call lies a delightfully high body count.
Madam, either you will have to cease knitting, or I will have to cease judging.
And no male callers upstairs.
In her follow-up hit to Murder, She Says, and Murder at the Gallop.
While the man from the creeks lay clutched to the breast of the lady that's known as Lou.
Agatha Christie's delightful, extraordinary lady detective finds herself hot on the heels of homicide, mystery, mayhem. But this time, the hunter becomes the hunted.
I think our murderer will try to kill me again tonight.
So there you have it, 5 fantastic reasons to never trust a 1960s busboy, biker, or stage actor ever again. The cinematic landscape of the swinging 60s was clearly a lot darker, stranger, and more psychologically ruinous than the history books often let on. If you managed to survive this deep dive into the mid-century madness without totally losing your mind, congratulations! We've got plenty more cinematic skeletons waiting to be dragged out of the closet. If you enjoyed this beautifully bizarre journey, please consider checking out the other videos on our channel for more deep cuts, creepy classics, and weird movie history.